This is my story and my journey on how I became a sports and fitness coach. Since I was a little boy, a core memory springs to mind is me standing at the beach with a soccer ball at my feet. Ultimately, sports and playing sports was always part of the bigger picture and part of my destiny. I come from a very working class mixed race community known as Strandfontein Village in Cape Town, South Africa, and that is at the very southern tip of the African continent. So yeah, and us as mixed race people, we are naturally talented, highly skillful. However, we do lack a lot of self belief, and part of the reason is we lack a lot of good role models, and kids which I know in South Africa are immensely talented. However, they do not have the right support structure. They don't have the know-how or the right coaching, which is so important as well. So Africa has a massive sporting culture, and the top three sports that most people are familiar with is cricket, soccer, and rugby. And growing up, those were the sports we predominantly played. And when I say growing up, I mean playing in the streets. And that's where a lot of the life lessons and the love for the sports grew and developed. I lived in a section that was sort of hidden, and there wasn't many cars passing through, that we could play outside and we could play these sports. And growing up, I had this neighbor which I'm very grateful for, because even though he had a family, he would still, and I think it's his love for the sports, that he would still be outside and play the sports with us. And it's not just myself, and kids from the area and kids. And in all honesty, my neighbor played a pivotal role into who I am today and my love for coaching and love for working with kids. My two favorite sports, I would say, would be cricket and soccer. I was always a bit tentative and scared of rugby, just knowing, watching the game and watching the sport, how players get tackled and the sort of injuries that can happen, and that always scared me. So yeah, would never really was one for playing rugby unless it was touch rugby, and yeah, more likely would like to play that a lot safer, if you ask me. Playing those two sports and growing up, I've played both at a very young age. And I remember playing for my first club, and I was at a family function. I was playing with my brother, just had the ball at my feet, and just executing, just having fun with the ball, playing with the ball, doing sort of skills, doing. And someone saw, one of the members of the club saw, and spoke to my parents and asked me to join the club. And that's sort of my first taste into club soccer. There's so many players that wants to pursue a career in football and soccer, and part of starting this channel is to help you grow in the sport and help you develop the love for the sport and help you develop certain skills and techniques and tricks, and just develop a strong base and foundation on how to execute. I took on that role where I was a bit of a senior and I was playing with the younger kids and just spending time with the ball, playing one versus one, playing two versus twos, working the basics, sort of showing them how to kick the ball, how to bend your foot, how to use your instep, and helping them develop a strong foundation with the basics. So naturally, I drifted towards that, being that person, and that person who would coach and help the next generation into developing and helping them recognize that they have the ability, and coaching them. Part of the reason for starting this channel is to now teach others and teach you guys out there. This is a very proud moment, and I feel who I spent a lot of time growing up with is a plays for one of the top academies in South Africa and Cape Town in particular. They're known as Cape Town Spurs, and he's definitely knocking on the door of being the first team. So the league, or the league in South Africa, is known as the PSL, the Premier Soccer League, and underneath they've got the reserve team, which is the multi-disky, and that's where he's currently playing. So I believe he's knocking on the door, and he's close to being signing that professional contract for Cape Town Spurs. I've seen this kid develop and grow up, and I tell you what, he's a baller. Eh? He's a proper baller. I believe because of the basic fundamentals he was taught at such a very young age, he has a strong foundation and could continue to grow and to learn, because there's strong foundation. When I say strong foundation, I mean the basics, which the best players in the world, they're able to master the basics easily. as part of becoming a pro, as part of becoming a top footballer, you need to be able to master the basics. So yeah, this was a big moment for me, and this was one of the moments where I realized how passionate I'm, not just about sports, but helping and working with others and coaching the youth and working with players, younger players, especially the grassroots age. From when I say grassroots, I'm saying between 5 and 12 years, which which I believe I'm the best in. I'm the best at coaching at that age and helping kids develop that strong base and foundation. They can then kick on and continue to grow, and yeah, who knows, become a pro footballer and make a career for themselves. So this was a big moment and a big realization for me that I had this natural ability to bring out the best in players and working with youth. So I had this natural ability to bring out the best in players, and not just players but people in general. So you know what they say, those who can't teach, and yeah, I'm teaching. Because growing up, it's easy to say you want to be professional, but knowing what I know now, what it takes to become a professional, it's actually not that easy. Like, yeah, there's a lot that needs to go in. And it's important that I can part that knowledge and share that knowledge with you for you to grow and develop. And fast forward, after matriculating, I made a decision to pursue a career in sports. And I remember there were so many people that would ask and question, why do you want to go into sports? Why do you want to go into sports? There's no money into it. I mean, I say sports, I mean coaching and the management side of it. There was no money in it, but I knew deep down, I'm here to make a difference through in sport and fitness, and that's what I'm doing today. Forward in 2009, I felt I wasn't ready to just step out into the big world yet. I then continued my studies and studied sports science at UWC, which is the University of Western Cape. After that, then I obtained my coaching licenses through SAFA, which is South African Football Association, and a couple of other coaching courses through Coerver, which is a very popular one and so useful. I encourage people to find out more about the Coerver course. And my career officially kicked off. I started working at Virgin Active as a fitness instructor. I worked there for about 9 months. Then I had a 3 month stint in America where I worked as a lifeguard and a swimming instructor. I got into coaching and coaching football in particular, or soccer. I was approached to then coach at a coaching company. What they do is they work at various daycares and they coach the soccer. Yeah, part of the program, part of what they do over there is coaching soccer through fun and games and kids between the ages of 2 to 5. We're literally starting at the bottom, starting from working with kids at that age, and that sort of continued. Then I stepped into coaching at club level. Coached at FC Kaapstad, a local club here in Cape Town, who I worked with an under 7 and under 8 team, and the club I coached at. So probably the most organized and the most successful tournament, I'd say, in Cape Town. And for my first year coaching at under 7, we reached the finals and lost in the finals. I decided to then stay with the team. We moved and coached them at under 8 level, and that year we won the cup. So that was very successful. And during all of this, I continued to coach for this particular company, working with daycares for about a year before I got offered a franchise, and man, got to experience so much during that time. I coached and worked with a team that traveled to Rustenburg. I got an opportunity to coach in Dubai because of this. I got to travel a bit. I got to visit the Theatre of Dreams, a dream come true for sure. I'm a United fan, so yeah, the cat's out of the bag now. Working for Worked for various brands and companies within the sports sector and within the coaching sector, and it's offered me so many valuable business lessons and coaching lessons and working with teams. Those lessons and working for other brands and companies, finally started my own brand and sports and fitness brand, which is Impetus Sports and Fitness. This peep the logo. This is the icon. I know there's so many people and so many players that wants to become a professional and wants to achieve that, but it's not always possible. There's a stat that says that there's 1% of the youth or 1% of of it that people actually makes professional. You have to do things that's going to set you apart. You have to spend time with the ball every day. And I want to leave you with one final thought. If I do 10 touches on the ball and you do 30 touches on the ball, who's the one that's going to benefit more and who's the one that's going to be better? It's you, the one that's doing 30 touches on the ball. So do the same with push-ups. If I do 10 push-ups and you do 30 push-ups, who's the one that's going to be stronger? It's you. It's you, the one that's going to be stronger. Likely to get closer to your goal if you're putting in that sort of time. Thank you for watching this video. And if you want to continue to be part of my journey, please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.